These are the answers for your 8-2 quiz that I posted pictures of on Edmodo. I always start by putting SOHCAHTOA or Some Old Horse Came A-Hopping Through Our Alley at the top of my paper so that I know what the different trig functions are. We're talking about special triangles, so the first one is a 60-degree angle, so that tells me that it's going to be a 30, 60, 90 triangle. It's always a good idea to draw them out. So here's my 30 degrees, my 60. I know opposite 30 is S. I know the hypotenuse is 2S, and the other leg is going to be S root 3. Sine is here, so it's sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite side of the 60 is S root 3, and the hypotenuse for this triangle is 2S. The s's cancel each other out, they divide out and make 1, so I have root 3 over 2 as my answer. Cosine of 45, 45 tells me that it's going to be a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So there's my 45, 45, and 90. The two sides opposite the 45 are just S. The side opposite the 90, or your hypotenuse, is going to be S root 2. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent to the 45 is your S. The hypotenuse was S root 2. My s's cancel each other out, and I get 1 over the square root of 2. The problem with that is that I'm not allowed to have a root in the denominator of a fraction. So I have to simplify that by multiplying the top and bottom by root 2. Root 2 times root 2 is just a positive 2. And then 1 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 2 in the numerator. And that is an acceptable answer. So this next part, we have to use our calculator. Here's my calculator. I'm going to turn it on. We have the tangent of 84, so my tangent key is here. Second tangent 84, close parentheses. I have 9.51436. Wanted you to round to the nearest hundredths, so that is going to be approximately 9 51 hundredths. Alright, for cosine, same thing. We're going to stick that in our calculator. Cosine second, cosine of 13 gives me 0.97437. Again, rounding to the nearest hundredths. So that is going to be approximately 97 hundredths. Alright, this is part 2. We need to find the length of each of the sides here. First we're going to start with CB. I have CB, which is the opposite, and then AB, which is the adjacent to 22. So I'm going to need to figure out which trig function that is. So that's some old horse came a-hopping through our alley. And then we said opposite over adjacent, which is this one here. So I know I'm using tangent, and I'm going to have opposite over adjacent. So here I have the tangent of 22 degrees is going to equal, and then I don't know what that is, and it's over 15, so that's x over 15. Use cross products. I have x times 1 is x, and then I have the tangent of 22 times 15. If I put that into my calculator, so second tangent of 22, close that, multiply that by 15, close that, and then I get 6.06039, which is, let's see, to nearest 10. So that's going to be 6.1, approximately. Now I need to find AC. Let's label this 6.1. AC is the hypotenuse, so I need the adjacent and the hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. So I need the cosine of 22, which is going to equal adjacent is 15 over the hypotenuse is the one that I'm looking for. Same thing using cross products. So 15 times 1 is 15. That's going to equal cosine of 22 times x. Divide both sides by the cosine of 22. These are going to cancel out. I have x equals, and then I'm going to put this into my calculator, 15 divided by cosine of 22. So I'm going to start with 15 divided by cosine of 22. Enter. Oh, that didn't work. 15, let me do that again. Divided by cosine 22. There we go. Alright, so that's 16.178. That's approximately 16.178. And then we needed to round to the nearest tenths. So that means that this is approximately 16.2. Which is going to be this side here, 16.2. Alright, so 7, 8, and 9, we need to write trig ratios for each one of these functions. So sine of A, sine we already said was opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite of the 22, which is 6.1, over hypotenuse is 6.2, which is about, if you divide that out, 0.38 or 38 hundredths. The cosine of A, oh, you know what, that's going to be equal, is cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent is 15, hypotenuse is 6.2. 15 over, not 6, 16. Oh my gosh, that's 16. That's 16. 16.2, which is approximately, if I divide that out, I get 93 hundredths. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent. So the opposite is 61, adjacent is 15, or 6.1. So that's 6.1 over 15, which ends up giving us about 41 hundredths. Alright, I hope you did well. If you have any questions, please post them on Edmodo, and we will talk on Friday.